Hello. So I'm kind of doing a different format this week because I have been crazy busy. So this week I was supposed to record a video about some stress management tips and some other things that y'all can do when you're feeling stress either from work or from school. But ironically, I've actually been quite stressed this week. I attended the ATA virtual conference and I simply did not plan well for it. I expected to be able to continue doing school and work around everything, and unfortunately, some things fell through the cracks. I didn't get as much work done as I had imagined I'd be able to do, and I felt like I just kept falling more and more behind in my schoolwork. And it was interesting because for one of my classes I'm actually taking right now is about stress management, and they had us do a 2-day stress journal where I basically wrote down all the things that were stressing me out for 2 complete days, and thought about what my automatic thoughts were in the situation and what physical manifestations and emotional manifestations of stress I had and the different coping mechanisms that I used. And it was super interesting because I realized that I, tense up, that I kind of slouch when I'm stressed, that I get really anxious and nervous about things, I get grumpy and grouchy with people, and that I avoid doing things, which is super not helpful. So I just wanted to be real with all of you and let you know that I'm not out here trying to say, I'm perfect and here are all of these awesome ways that I am perfect. I struggle with stress just like every single one of you, and it's really hard some days, and this week more than others. But I did make some decisions this week that made it more beneficial. I've had this ongoing struggle of deciding whether or not I'm an introvert or an extrovert, because sometimes being around people is really energizing and I really like, having these one-on-one interactions with people, but I also get stressed out when there's large groups, and so there's kind of, both sides of the coin where I really like when it's a big group of people that I know I feel comfortable, and then other times I'm not. And with ATA, there's always, so the conference that I attended is called ATA, and so with ATA, there's always these networking opportunities, gosh. And it was a little bit different this year because it was all virtual, and I met a couple of people that I got to actually talk to for like 10 minutes at a time. But I noticed that there weren't as many networking opportunities. Like normally at the in-person conference, we were able to sit down and eat with people during like breakfast or lunch, or go out to eat with people. And that was when a lot of the networking took place. And so I went out on a limb and I actually contacted some of the other students, not from BYU. I was the only BYU student there alone, at least that I know of. So if there's a BYU student that was there and didn't let me know, I will find you and we will connect and we will talk about things. But I was mostly talking with students who are working on their master's degrees in translation at different schools. And I contacted a bunch of these people and was like, hey, let's get together and get to know each other and talk about things over breakfast. And it ended up being awesome. And then somebody else from that group reached out and organized another evening chat that we had another day, and I reached out to a couple people that I had met and we had breakfast another day. And I really went out on that limb and put myself in an anxiety-inducing situation, but found it really fulfilling. And it was really nice to be able to take that leap and not fail, not fall flat on my face. So that was really, really good. But like I was saying, some other things fell to the wayside. So I TA for a couple different classes at BYU, and I'm going to apologize right now to all my students if they're watching this. I am terribly behind on grading. I will get caught up this week eventually. That's just kind of part of life, is you have to prioritize things. And this week I prioritized going to this conference. And it was a really good decision, but it was a really hard decision. And it was really hard to know that going might put things on hold, but I still don't regret it. And I think that's what I've been learning the most about, stressful situations and anxiety and all of these things, is that I fear things falling apart, but the more and more I'm learning is that things won't necessarily fall apart if they're not perfect. We're all humans. None of us are perfect. And that's kind of what makes life interesting. So that's my little stress management thought for the day. It's not going to be edited. You're going to see all the little mess ups and word switch ups that I do and all those things, but that is me. And this is me dealing with stress. So, I'd love to hear all of your thoughts about stress and how you manage your stress. And I hope to be producing some more content coming up this week. So, talk to y'all soon.